Yo, what's up, everybody? First off, I just want to apologize for the length of time between the first episode and this episode. Just had a lot going on. Didn't have the right time to sit down and record the next episodes here, but we're back now. So shout out to everybody that was rocking with the first episode. I had a lot of fun talking about those songs, and let's get right back to it. So there's only one place to go next, and that's the third track on the mixtape, and that's a song called Everybody. Um, Everybody, the first single that I put out from the project, kind of, really kicked off this whole Nowhere Soon era. That's a song that I've always really liked ever since I wrote it. Like, I just always had a lot of fun listening to it. It was just something that made me feel good, really. And that's why I put it out as the single, was I just, I thought this is, a catchy jam that I think a lot of people are gonna resonate with. And so I think it's a good entry point into the project. And so I put it out as the first single. But the song was born out of a time of my life where I was really entering a new chapter and dealing with the kind of feelings of being anxious and having some trepidation that goes into entering a new stage of your life. And um, I remember I just graduated college, so May of 2023 there, um, and I'm getting ready to move to Pittsburgh. And so I not only am I graduating and entering the real world, but I'm also going to another state, a new, biggest city that I'd ever lived in, and kind of just taking on some new. I don't want to say challenges, but some new realities that are a change from what I was used to. So I was feeling a bit anxious, and just wondering, really, am I ready for this? Am I ready for whatever life is about to hand me here? And I wasn't worried from the sense of I thought it would go poorly, but I just, it was a lot going on. So I kind of wrote Everybody as a reminder to myself to take shots, to take chances, because that's the only way forward. Really, you're never going to get anywhere if you're not going after it and you're not afraid to take some risks. And so Everybody for me just became kind of a way to give myself the reassurance that I was doing the right thing. But there's a line in the first verse that I always really liked where I say, I got to face the great unknown. Even if I ain't ready, fuck it, I'm taking my role. And that just goes into what I said about even if I feel like, damn, like this is a big step. It's like, well, I got to do it. I got to take a chance. And that can really be applied to anything, whether it's my exact situation in that moment or just really anything, I'm just like, talk to that person, go in that room, whatever. Even if I feel like I don't know if I can handle this at this moment, we'll find out because I'm taking my role. But there's also a line in the second verse that stuck out to me a bunch, and that's where I say, uh, on the other side of doubt, I think I'm seeing the palace, and it kind of ties into what I was saying with the previous line of all those opportunities, all those chances, that seem scary or seem, just too big of a mountain to climb at times. On the other side of that, on the other side of whatever you feel like, you might not be ready for, is something good. It's something great. Like the next step to whatever it is that you're trying to do, could be right on the other side of fear. And I have a T-shirt actually. I have a LeBron T-shirt that says "Fate loves the fearless," and I think maybe subconsciously, maybe that was in my head. I don't know, but uh, that line for me just kind of always represented that period of my life of you know I can sit here and stay here and be worried about what's going to happen, or I can fight through that doubt, those feelings of trepidation, and just kind of get through it to reach the promised land of whatever it is that's on the other side. And so that's a track that I've really grown to appreciate even more ever since writing it. Is just uh, anytime that I'm faced with a situation where I might be reaching back into those feelings of of being unsure of myself, I just think of things that I said to myself in that song of just go for it, really. So that's one of my favorites on the tape, and that's Everybody. All right, so the next song we got to talk about is track number 4 on Nowhere Soon, and that's a song called Next Year. Next Year was one that I wrote when I was still undecided, or I still didn't really know what my post college year would look like. I still didn't know exactly where I'd be living, where I'd be working, anything of that nature. It was all up in the air, and that was something at the time, was really giving me a lot of anxiety about just, not being settled in my future. Really, that wasn't that far away, and so when I wrote Next Year, I was ending, or I was, it was more so the middle, I guess, of my last year of college, and was trying to figure all those things out still, and and so I really just, it was a song that kind of just came out of I didn't have an idea of a song that I wanted to write. It was more just the beat came on, and that's what came out. But I started off with, in the first verse, I say, I'm more optimistic than ever and trying to convince myself of it. And that was a line that I always, really thought about because like I said, I was at a time where I was really kind of stressing about, real life things. But not just that, but also, I was, dealing with a lot of self doubt when it came to music, when it came to just anything really. And so it's kind of an oxymoron of a line of me saying, I'm more optimistic than ever, but I'm trying to convince myself of it. Of like, I feel like maybe good things are on the way, but I'm trying to make myself believe that, like, and so that line was always one that I really liked because I just, it's kind of the duality of it, of me just being like, yeah, I'm optimistic, but I could probably be more optimistic. And and so yeah, ever since I wrote that line, I always really liked it. But later on in that verse, I say I want to see the world the way I did before I counted hours, because at the time of writing this song, I was really, I was really stressing those things that I wanted to see, a quick resolution to. Like, I I was really, stuck in the crib, stuck in my head, just sitting around thinking all the time about all that was to come, or what wasn't going right. And it made me kind of miss when I used to, I didn't worry about time. I didn't worry about getting left behind. I didn't worry about getting caught up in just life, really. I didn't sit around watching the days go past on the calendar, or watching the clock spin, thinking about like, oh, I could be, I should be here, I should be doing this. Um, and so really that was just a line to say, like, I want to go back to that time where I wasn't as I don't know if it's maybe aware of the situation that I may find myself in, or just a general sense of being more assured in, where I'm at. Uh, but that kind of goes into another line that I wanted to talk about in the second verse, where I say, um, you know, stressing the day after, caught up in the mix, but I'm worried about the master, where it's like, I'm worried about all this that's down the road. I'm worried about all this that's to come, instead of staying grounded and staying present in this current day that I'm inhabiting, this current task or opportunity that I'm dealing with right now. And I think that really Next Year was just overall kind of a song about that, of me being like I'm not trying to worry about that right now. I'm trying to, I'm gonna just focus on where I'm at right now, and do my thing. And because I know there's still, I mean, there's a lot of times where like I'll ruin a moment for myself, or I'll ruin, a situation, that I should be really positive on, or I should be really happy about, by thinking about, well, what if this happens, or what if, like, what's next, really, like, really just a sense of not being able to stay grounded with where I'm at. And so I think that line specifically, but the song as a whole kind of represents a message to myself to take note of that, and try to stay more present with where I'm at. But I don't know what the future holds. I don't know where I'm gonna be next year exactly, or I don't know. I still don't have all the answers that the song asks, or the song touches on. But I think that I'm more capable of processing it in a way that's I guess healthy. I guess I don't know. Just I feel more assured of I'll get to where I need to get when I get there. So yeah, that's song Next Year. We just wanna be icons, eyes on us when they turn the lights on. Melt my life like twice and I'm gone. I know